What you guys, today we're taking a look at the Reolink 1080p Argus PT. That means it's pan and tilt. And we're also taking a look at the Reolink solar panel. Now this is a wire-free pan and tilt security camera with an expansive field of view. So these are battery and solar powered type security cameras. So you've got 1080p full HD and also Starlight night vision with two-way audio on here. So let's take a look at the side of the box here. Now we've mentioned most of this, but I will mention the two that I missed, which is IP65 waterproof and smart PIR sensor. This is exactly what you can expect to get when you purchase both of these items. They don't come as a pair, you have to buy them separately. So this is the mount for the solar panel. Now what this means is, it means that once you mount this to the wall, it will be able to charge the camera constantly when the sun is out, which means you don't have to keep getting up there and taking the battery down and recharging it. Just screw this to the wall and then put your solar panel on here, and it will automatically charge the camera when the sun is hitting that little panel there. So you've got your screws and raw plugs for the actual mount, and then you've got your actual solar panel itself. This has been upgraded over the years. This one looks a bit more durable than the previous generation, so this does look pretty good. Really long cable here, so you can mount it somewhere so you can get good direct sunlight, or maybe tuck it out the way somewhere so it can't be seen. And again, you've got that mounting point here, so you can put your mount on there and screw it to the wall. Very simple stuff. You've got this little pamphlet here inside here will tell you how to set it all up. Very simple stuff. And there's also an installation guide and a template here, which is quite useful for putting the drill holes into the wall in the correct position. You just stick this to the wall. It's a sticky pad. So stick that on the wall and then drill in the holes, and away you go. Let's move on to the camera here. So this does come separate. So this can end up a little bit expensive once you get all these together. You're going to get your installation guide. Very simple and easy setup. I'll show you how to do that. You've got your sticker there for your security sticker. Let's just take a look at here. Color pictures and some text. Very simple stuff. I'll show you how to do this. Really simple and easy. Also, you've got that sticker here as well to put on your window to tell people you've got 24-hour surveillance. And also, you've got your template and your guarantee inside there. You're also going to get some raw plugs and some screws. And you're also going to get a strap. This helps you to strap it in case you want to strap this to a pole or tree or something like that. You can use that strap there. Also, you've got your charging cable. So you don't really need this if you're using the actual solar panel, but it's always nice to have. And you've got your Wi-Fi antenna, which goes on the back here. I'll show you that a little bit later. And you've got your bracket here, which will allow you to mount this to the wall. So really simple bracket. So it looks pretty sturdy, and it will screw onto there, which we'll take a look at it later on. So here we have the actual camera. It's a pan and tilt camera, which means it does weigh a fair bit. You've got your mounting point there to mount onto the bracket. This does rotate 355 degrees horizontally and 140 degrees vertically. Can cover every angle in your house. You can see this is where your lens is. If you roll this back, this is where your micro SD card slot and your reset button will be under here, where you can just put a pin in and reset it. But that is your micro SD card slot. That tucks around there. Speaker here, because this does have two-way audio on here as well. Don't try and pull this about when the power is on, because you'll damage the camera. Move the little back part here. This is your on and off switch. You can see it's quite a bit of rubber here to protect from water getting in there as well. And we have our antenna here, which screws into this area here, so you can screw your antenna in. This just goes in like so. Just give it a quick screw in to show you here. Very simple stuff. Now this is IP64 waterproof, and it is 105 degrees wide viewing angle on here, which is really nice. It's 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and this is where you charge the battery as well. And you'd also plug in your solar panel into here to charge the battery if you've got a solar panel, that is. So this camera does work on a PIR motion sensor technology, which means it will detect any motion and trigger instant alerts, and you can have those sent to your phone as well. So it's pretty good. And you can have a motion detection record option as well, which will send to the cloud, and you can later play that back as well. You can also put your micro SD card in and record to your micro SD card as well if that's what you want to do. So let's just put this back here. I'm going to turn this on and we'll start to get this camera set up. Very simple and easy setup process. Now I must say, over the years, all of the security cameras I've looked at, Reolink do have some of the best software available for their security cameras. They put a lot of effort into having all of the features available in their software. And I'm not going to cover all of it in this video, but there is quite a lot that you can do with their software. So let's just allow this here. And you can see here now we do have the software installed on here. We have two areas, cloud and device. This just hit the plus here, and it's asking to get access to take pictures and video. That is because it will be saving them in there and it needs to have access to that. Basically, what we need to do is scan this little code on the bottom of the camera and just beep this. There we go. Now you put in your Wi-Fi details here, and then once you do that, it's asking you to basically put this in front of the phone. This is the QR code, and what it will do is it will basically read that on the camera. Now this bit can be a bit fiddly. You just got to get it to recognize the QR code, and you just go in and out towards the camera lens like this until you can hear a beep, and then it will tell you that it's been recognized and it's now set up. So just move the phone back in front of the camera until you get a beep, and that means it's now recognized the camera, and it will then start to synchronize it to the router and start to work properly. You can see here, connection to the router is succeeded. We can now continue, and it will connect your device and start to initialize it and put in your password for that device. So put a nice password in here, and you should then see some sort of feed coming out of the camera. Now I've skipped that part and put it up onto the wall, and you can now see it's now working outside, and we do have a camera feed. I can use the PTZ, which is the pan, tilt and zoom, and you can basically move the camera feed in and out to something of your liking. So it's basically that simple. You've got Fluent and 1080p. Personally, I think it really struggled with 1080p. And I had to put it into Fluent mode, and the reason for that is because of the Wi-Fi signal. So you do need to have a pretty good Wi-Fi signal, and remember, if this is outside, it's going to need to be pretty close to a router near your house to get some sort of signal to it. These are the downfall sides of these particular types of cameras. You have to make sure that you've got good Wi-Fi in the vicinity to make it work, otherwise you're going to have problems. The higher the definition, the harder it is for the Wi-Fi signal to make a connection to it. So it did automatically step it down to Fluent. You can hit the record button here, take a snapshot and all that sort of good stuff as you would with all the cameras. Turn the audio on and talk through the camera if you wish. Put a siren or alarm on to warn people away if you see someone in your property. It's that simple. You've got a load of settings inside here. I'm not going to go through all of this, but there's a load of settings inside here. You've also got some advanced settings here, and each one of those little settings have a little settings of their own, which you can mess around with. But that's probably another video. But again, you can do quite a bit. You can actually see the camera being charged by the solar panel. If you see here, it's not charging at the moment because it's getting a bit later in the day, but you will see it pulsing. Basically, that means it's charging. And again, you can make changes to all the recordings, camera recording, PI, motion, and all that sort of stuff. You've got your playback here as well, just in case you wanted to see something which happened, which you got an alert for. You can play this back and check it out. Again, nighttime view is pretty good as well. As you would expect, this is a 2 megapixel with a CMOS sensor in it. In dark mode, it can go up to 33 feet away in very low light. So pretty good, a good all-round wireless camera. Okay, so let's take a look at the pros and cons for the Reolink Argus PT Wi-Fi camera. Now, this can be said for every product. There's always good and bad points. So let's go through what I think are some of the good and bad points here. So the pro side of things are easy installation. It's really easy to set up. Number two is PTZ, which is your pan, tilt and zoom. I think that's a really nice added feature for this particular type of camera. Again, wire free, no wires are needed. No need for power because it runs on battery, and it also has that solar power, which does work quite well. So it charges the battery again. So if you get a really good spot where sunlight is, it should continually charge that battery, no problems at all. Low setup costs for these particular types of things. No complicated NVR boxes and other stuff like that. You just put it all together and away you go. A great place for a camera with no power. So you can basically put this somewhere where you're having trouble getting some sort of power to, so you can put this camera there. So the con side of things, I suppose, are dependent on a wireless signal and wireless strength. If you've got really poor Wi-Fi signal strength there, then this camera is not good for you and it's not going to work. And that can be said for all of the Wi-Fi cameras out there. Again, number two would be batteries needed to be charged. If you put the camera in a position where you need to get up there and charge the battery, then that's going to be a pretty much a deal breaker. Also, location is key here. If you're using the solar power panel, you do need to have direct sunlight for it to be charging the battery. Otherwise, that's going to be problematic if you can't get to the camera to easily charge the battery. Now, another problem with these battery type cameras, including doorbells, is the time it takes to wake up due to going into sleep to conserve battery life. This is another big problem that happens with these particular types of devices. And again, that can be a bit of a delay. And if you've got some sort of monitor there and you're trying to monitor it on there, it will wake up and it will take some sort of time for it to display some sort of feed. So if you're looking for something like that, then this might not be a camera for you, because you can't have no constant live feed on here, because obviously it's going to eat battery power very, very quickly. So that is another thing. Again, the sensitivity of the PIR can be a bit some sort of troublesome with trees and stuff like that, and that can eat up a lot of battery power too. So depending on whether you're in a high traffic area, these particular types of cameras can be problematic. So if you're in the front door area and you're going in and out, and you're relying on just battery power alone, that will eat the battery power very, very quickly. It does come with quite a large battery in here, but they never seem to last as long as you want them to. Now, again, another thing we're going to be talking about is expense. Now, they are cheap to set up, but sometimes when you're buying a bunch of these, it can run into quite a bit of money. You've got the camera itself, you've then got the solar panel, and then you've got the micro SD card, and that can all tot up to a good, 150 to, 170 or more pounds just for that little setup. So that is quite costly if you're wanting more than one of these. So take that into account. Again, these are just my opinions, and this is not generally about Reolink Argus PT. This is about Wi-Fi and battery cameras in general. I'll leave all the links and information in the video description. Just want to say a big shout out to all my YouTube members who have joined my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate the support. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Thanks again for watching, and I shall see you again for another video real soon. Bye for now.